I'm 73 years old, and I'm about to tell you something that might upset you. Everything you think you know about growing older, about time, about life, it's wrong. And the worst part is the people who should be guiding you, your parents, your teachers, society, they either don't know themselves or they're keeping quiet. I spent the first 50 years of my life believing the same lies you probably believe now. I thought I had it all figured out. I had the career, the house, the respect of my peers. I thought I understood what it meant to live a successful life. But then, at 52, everything changed. Something happened that forced me to confront my own mortality in a way I never expected. In that moment, I realized that most of what I had been chasing, approval, wealth, status, was meaningless if I didn't truly live. And over the 21 years since, I've learned lessons that completely transformed how I see life, death, and what it means to spend the time you have wisely. What I'm about to share isn't theory or advice from a book. It's what living on the edge of mortality taught me, and why I want you to hear it before it's too late. But before I share what truly changed my life, you need to understand something. I'm not saying this to sound profound or to impress anyone. I'm saying it because time is slipping through our fingers faster than we realize, and there are truths you need to hear before it's too late. Not for me, but for you. At 52, I experienced what doctors call a cardiac event. In plain words, my heart almost gave out. I was in the middle of a routine day, sitting in my office, thinking about spreadsheets, budgets, and endless meetings. Suddenly, the room tilted, the walls moved, and my chest felt like it was collapsing. The next memory I have is waking up in a hospital bed, tubes in my arms, alarms beeping, and my wife clutching my hand, tears running down her face. The doctor told me I was lucky. Lucky as if coming face to face with death were a game of chance. But lying there, staring at the sterile ceiling, I realized how much of my life had been wasted on autopilot. I hadn't been truly living. I was merely moving through routines, trying to tick off boxes that society said mattered. Careers, titles, houses, cars, the applause of peers. None of it mattered in that hospital room. None of it. I started thinking about what I would leave behind if I had died that day. A house, a bank account, achievements that would be forgotten in 5 years. I had spent decades believing I had time, that someday I'd finally live fully. I thought that retirement, a promotion, or more money would magically bring happiness. But the truth is, the day you think is perfect never comes. You're always chasing something further away. Think about this. How many people do you know who are constantly chasing milestones, only to discover that satisfaction is fleeting? I did the same thing. I spent 30 years climbing a ladder, only to realize, once at the top, that it was leaning against the wrong wall. You cannot climb back down and start over. Time doesn't work that way. Here's the truth nobody tells you when you're younger. Success is a terrible goal if it comes at the expense of living. I achieved what I thought mattered: partnerships, wealth, status, respect, but it left me hollow. Achievement is fleeting. It fades, and then you are left searching for the next high, the next validation, the next empty milestone. Life becomes a hamster wheel of chasing approval, chasing recognition, chasing something just out of reach. A friend of mine worked 70-hour weeks his entire life, built a successful business, amassed wealth, but never traveled, never relaxed. He kept promising himself next year, but next year came too late. He suffered a stroke and never got to slow down. At his funeral, his son said, "My father was successful, but I barely knew him." That is a legacy none of us should want. Regret comes not from the mistakes we make, but from the things we never dared to do. And those regrets gnaw at you. They eat away at your spirit quietly night after night. I lie awake not thinking about failed deals, lost promotions, or unfulfilled ambitions. I think about the trips I never took, the relationships I let wither, the books I never wrote, the time I didn't spend with my children because work always came first. Those moments, gone forever, are what haunt me. You believe you have endless time with those you love, your parents, siblings, friends, or even your children, but you don't. My father died when I was 45. We had a complicated relationship, one that I never prioritized. I always assumed there would be time to mend it later, but later never came. The last Sundays, the missed calls, the skipped dinners, they're gone. There won't always be more. After my heart attack, I made changes that reshaped my life. I stopped saying yes to everything that drained me. I started saying yes to things I had postponed for decades. I took long, meaningful pauses from work. I traveled. I reconnected with people I had neglected. I started living with intention. Over the past 21 years, I've learned more about life than I did in the previous 52, and what I learned is both simple and profound. Time with loved ones is invaluable. Work that fills you with purpose is precious. Experiences are irreplaceable. Memories are priceless. Being present matters more than any accolade or paycheck. When I was younger, I thought this advice was naive. Bills need paying, careers need building. True, but that's not an excuse to sacrifice life's true wealth for temporary gains. Ask yourself, if you died tomorrow, would you be satisfied with the life you've lived? Not whether others would praise your achievements, but if you would feel content with how you spent your time. If the answer is no, why are you waiting? What are you putting ahead of your one precious life that makes you gamble with it? I'm 73 now. I've been fortunate to maintain good health since that day, but I wake up every morning acutely aware that time is borrowed. We all are. Most young people don't realize it. They feel invincible. They think they have forever. You don't, you won't, and neither will the people you love. When I look at my grandchildren, I see the same patterns repeating. Anxiety, stress, distraction, chasing what they think will make them happy. They don't listen to my warnings, not because they are disrespectful, but because they haven't yet felt the urgency of life. They can't see that time is limited, that the patterns I learned the hard way will repeat if ignored. This is why I'm sharing this story, not to scare but to awaken. Perhaps if enough people hear it, someone will act differently, avoid regrets, prioritize what matters. Stop waiting for the perfect moment because it doesn't exist. You're approaching your own deadlines quietly every day, and so are the people you love. None of these relationships last forever. Parents age, friends fade, spouses and children grow apart or move on. One day, sooner than expected, they won't be here. And what will you do then? Wait some more? Keep postponing the phone call, the visit, the trip, the act of love? Or will you start living like your time is limited, because it is? If I could go back and speak to my 30-year-old self, this is what I would say. Stop chasing approval from people who don't matter. Stop sacrificing your health and your presence for work that will one day seem meaningless. Stop putting off joy for some distant, imagined someday. Stop waiting for permission to live the life you truly want. Call your parents, take that trip you've been dreaming about for decades. Do the things that scare you, that make your heart race with excitement. Learn something new. Spend time with people who make you feel alive. Say no to obligations that drain you. Say yes to experiences that nourish your soul. And most importantly, start now. Not next year, not after that project, not when you have more money or more time. Now, because the perfect time will never come. Life will always be messy, complicated, and full of reasons to wait. Many of us assume we have endless chances to make amends, to chase our dreams, to say, "I love you," to show kindness, to live fully. But life doesn't guarantee any of that. One day, you'll wake up and realize that the years you thought were abundant have slipped away. You'll realize that the promotion you chased, the money you amassed, the accolades you collected, they are meaningless if you haven't actually lived. I've learned over the last 21 years that true wealth is measured in moments, not money, in laughter, not accolades, in relationships, not possessions, in experiences, not titles. When you understand that, the way you live shifts. You stop wasting hours on trivialities. You stop postponing happiness. You stop letting fear dictate your choices. I've traveled to countries I once only dreamed of. I've deepened my relationships with my children and grandchildren. I've pursued hobbies I put off for decades. I've forgiven people I once held grudges against. I've said, "I love you" countless times, knowing that one day it may be the last opportunity. I've learned that these are the things that matter. And yet every day I see young people making the same mistakes I once made. They are stressed, overworked, anxious, chasing goals that will never fill the void inside. They think they have forever. They believe they can wait. But the truth is, tomorrow is not promised, and time is the only currency you cannot replenish. Consider your own life. How many moments are slipping by unnoticed? How many opportunities have you ignored because of busyness, pride, or fear? The small, meaningful gestures, the calls, the letters, the dinners, the hugs, these are what define a life well lived. Not the awards, not the promotions, not the things. I want to make this simple for you. You have a choice today. Continue living as though time is unlimited, postponing your joy, your connection, your experiences. Or you can begin to live intentionally, recognizing that every day is precious and finite. The clock is ticking. Every sunrise is an opportunity to create memories that will outlive you. Every conversation, every act of love, every risk taken matters. For 21 years, I've embraced life with intention. I no longer waste time on people, projects, or pursuits that don't align with what truly matters. I've learned to prioritize presence over perfection, experience over accumulation, love over approval. And I can say without hesitation that these are the richest years of my life. Richer than any decade I spent chasing status, wealth, or recognition. I've also learned that fear is the greatest thief of time. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of discomfort, they all conspire to keep you from truly living. But when you face fear, when you step into the discomfort, you discover the depth, beauty, and richness of life. Every risk taken, every step into the unknown, every act of courage brings more fulfillment than any title or paycheck ever could. Think of your life like a ledger. Every day is a line, every choice a transaction. Are you investing in experiences, relationships, and personal growth, or are you spending your time on empty pursuits that leave your account barren? I promise you, the wealth you accumulate in experiences and love will endure far longer than any material success. And when you are old, as I am now, you won't remember the hours spent at your desk or the deals you closed. You will remember the sunsets you watched, the conversations you had, the love you shared, the risks you dared to take, and the moments you were fully present. These are the treasures of life, hidden in plain sight. I have grandchildren now, 3 bright, energetic souls. When I look at them, I see the patterns repeating: stress, distraction, chasing validation, believing they have endless time. I try to guide them to share the lessons I've learned, but they don't yet see it. They cannot. They are caught in their own storms, convinced their situations are unique. And yet, the patterns are universal. Everyone who ignores these lessons will pay a price in regret. That is why I am sharing this with you, not because I have all the answers, but because I've lived long enough to see the truth. Time is limited, life is fleeting, and the cost of ignoring this truth is enormous. It is measured in missed opportunities, unspoken words, untraveled roads, and love unexpressed. So what are you going to do? Keep putting off that trip, keep postponing that phone call, keep waiting for some imagined perfect moment to start living, or will you wake up today and recognize that your time is finite, precious, and irreplaceable? Because it is, and it will not wait for you. If I could speak to my 30-year-old self, I would tell him to start immediately. Stop waiting for approval. Stop chasing empty goals. Stop putting off joy. Say yes to life. Say yes to people. Say yes to experiences that matter. Take risks, embrace love, face your fears, and live intentionally. Start now, not tomorrow, not next year, not after some project or milestone. Now. Because if you wait, the years slip away. Life will always be complicated, messy, and imperfect. There will always be reasons to delay. But every moment you delay is a moment you will never get back. And one day, you will look back and realize that all those later moments have vanished, leaving you with only regret or wisdom learned too late. I am 73 years old. If I am fortunate, I may have 10, 15, maybe 20 more years, perhaps less. And I am at peace with that because I have finally learned to live intentionally, to prioritize love, presence, and experience over hollow accomplishments. I have traveled, loved, forgiven, explored, and embraced life fully. And that, more than any title, wealth, or accolade, defines a life well lived. You too have the chance to make this choice. Today, not next year, not when circumstances are perfect. Today, choose presence, choose love, choose experiences, choose to live. Because if you wait, the time you think you have will disappear, and the life you could have lived will be gone forever. I'm 73. If I'm lucky, maybe 10 or 15 more years. Maybe 20 if I'm truly blessed, probably less. And I've made peace with that, because these last 21 years have been the most meaningful of my life. Not because I earned more money or gained more status, but because I finally started living intentionally, valuing every day, and prioritizing what truly matters. I've traveled to places I always dreamed of. I've deepened my relationships with my children and grandchildren. I've pursued hobbies I once postponed. I've forgiven people I held grudges against. I've said, "I love you" countless times. I am happier now at 73, with less time ahead, than I was at 30 when I foolishly thought I had all the time in the world. That's the irony. When you truly understand that time is limited, you begin to live. You stop wasting it. You stop postponing joy. You start creating the right time, making every moment count. You have a choice right now, today. Continue living the way you are, chasing success, delaying happiness, telling yourself, "I'll do it later," or wake up and live with urgency and purpose. Time is running out faster than you think. The life you've been waiting for doesn't wait. I cannot make the choice for you, but I can tell you this: you don't want to be 73 looking back, wishing you had done things differently. Don't waste decades figuring this out. Learn from my experience. Live intentionally. Prioritize what matters. Stop waiting for someday. Someday is today. If this message resonates, share it. Leave a comment. Tell me what you're going to do differently. Subscribe, because I have more truths to share and very little time left. The clock is ticking. What are you going to do with your time?